feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Every single day, I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my
Let's fight.
Ready, bro. Firing all cylinders. Reaction time there, speed there. Spoke. That's what got him ready. It's spoke. Yeah.
Good. Stay in your rhythm, champ. Stay in your rhythm. Your rhythm, your time, your fight. Let's go.
You trying hard? Good job. It's effort.
Observing Shakur Stevenson's preparation for the Teofimo Lopez fight, it's obvious that his training camp is focused on managing pressure and staying composed during the opening stages, instead of waiting to dominate once the fight settles down.
How many rounds you do today? 17, right?
Teofimo is at his most explosive in the early rounds, which is why Shakur's conditioning is built to absorb intensity from the opening bell. His camp emphasizes high-tempo rounds, limited recovery time, and situational drills that train him to reset space instantly after being pressed. The objective is to turn chaos into routine, so competing under pressure feels just as controlled as fighting at a relaxed pace later on.
I got my time.
Another major focus of camp is tightening up the minor defensive mistakes that appeared in Shakur's recent outings. Against Teofimo, a single clean connection can change everything. That's why every jab or check hook is now paired with an immediate exit or angle shift. No pausing to admire the work, no staying in range long enough to give Teofimo the belief that forcing his way inside will pay off.
Get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. There we go, there we go. Left 15, all the way down.
I feel great. Sprints kind of be getting me right, get my conditioning right. Sometimes in a fight could turn into a sprint. Cause it's like, to start the pace fast as hell and then they can't keep up the pace, but the sprints will kind of get you in shape to where once you break down, sometimes you get a second win, then you get another win, then you get another win after that. So I did the sprints a lot in a Jamel Herring fight. That's why you see me fight at a fast pace, and then once I slowed down I picked it back up and I had all the energy in the world to do it. So we locked in.
Shakur's footwork isn't designed to circle endlessly or avoid engagement. Instead, it relies on subtle, controlled movements that invite Teofimo to throw while keeping him just off balance enough to miss cleanly. On the mental side, the camp is centered on breaking down Teofimo's patterns, how he bursts forward, commits heavily to single shots, and momentarily stalls after. By the middle rounds, those explosive moments are meant to feel read and anticipated rather than threatening. Strategy isn't built around chasing a knockout or trying to outmuscle Teofimo. Instead, it's about forcing early misses, answering back every time he swings, and gradually wearing down his belief as those explosive surges lose their impact. Simply put, Shakur is preparing to make Teofimo expend more energy for smaller returns, turning the fight into a controlled, frustrating contest that steadily tilts in Shakur's direction.
Yeah, let's do the rest centered up, I think. Oh, centered up? Okay, yes. So he's looking right in the camera? Yeah, because he's talking.
Yeah, I'll land a punch on him. For sure.
Do you believe your opponent underestimates you?
I think my opponent is underestimating me because he said that I'm a slow one. He thinks that I'm too small.
This is where the calm, methodical thinking behind Shakur Stevenson's preparation collides with all the outside noise. Once a fighter trains to handle chaos without losing composure, the discussion stops being hypothetical. Listening to Sean Porter and others debate it back and forth, the real point becomes clear beneath the humor. We claim to crave brutality in the ring, yet we often criticize fighters who are simply too effective at surviving and controlling the fight.
Shakur is extremely smart.
Okay.
I can guarantee you this is what Shakur is going to do. Shakur is going to come out middle of the ring, work that jab, work that pawn that he does, all that, the feints. He's going to try to touch him with the jab, but he's going to be waiting on his moments to snap with that right hand, waiting on his moments to counter, waiting on his moment. And when they're not there, he's just going to slide off, go for that little walk.
Porter's emphasis on resets, distance, and re-establishing control isn't about dull boxing. It's a tactical way to drain Teofimo Lopez's momentum, because he's most dangerous when he finds rhythm and space to explode.
I don't restart. Shakur is the kind of fighter that does not mind restarting. That was our thing, was once we start, we want to do the best we can to get away from another restart, because the restart allows you to reset, allows you that space, and stuff like that.
When people say Shakur needs to show that dog, it makes me laugh, because dogs get hit, and Shakur's entire career has been built on denying opponents that chance. Fans complain about movement and control, yet quietly accept that Teofimo has had dull nights too, and suddenly the conversation stops short. That's just the nature of boxing. Still, the wild card is real, because Teofimo has the ability to change everything with a single moment.
The thing that I like about Shakur, though, is, we already know the statistical numbers in terms of how much he gets hit per round and even per fight, which is
low.
But the other side of that is offensively, he's very accurate. Very accurate.
Shakur's victories come from systematically removing choices, one round at a time. In my view, the louder fans demand that he change his style, the more he leans into who he truly is. He isn't hunting applause, he's managing time. And if Teofimo can't drag him into exchanges, that restless energy turns into swinging at air, with real consequences on the scorecards.
But while we don't like that he might throw 30, 40 punches around, he's usually on point when he throws. He don't miss. He finds his moments, and then he turns it on. The difference is when he turns it on, is he's delivered that power to a point where we actually sit back and all right, round after round, like, all right, he's losing these.
This isn't really a debate about ability versus entertainment. It's about whether composure deserves criticism simply because it isn't loud. That's what makes this matchup risky for both men. Chaos only works when it's allowed in, and Shakur prepares specifically to deny it. If control wins, people will label it dull while quietly watching precision mature in real time. But if disorder breaks through, everyone will act surprised, despite spending weeks asking for exactly that.
Now listen, man, we're talking about a situation. We're talking about a situation where a fighter could be smart enough to just be right on point. What I mean by that is, we could be in a situation where both these guys kind of coach.
No matter how it plays out, one version of reality is going to crack, and that's what holds my attention. I'm watching with a clear head and no attachments, waiting to see discipline face real pressure. Not social media chatter, not memories of the past, but consequences that unfold live, round by round.
but Taylor finding moments to steal moments in every round and steal rounds and actually win on the scorecards simply because he did just a little bit more. Simply because he was just a little bit more active.
Right after Porter explained restarts and patience from the perspective of someone who's been there, Bernie the boxer stepped in and calmly shifted the conversation. Without raising his voice, his point was clear: people are missing the real story of this fight. Bernie explained that Shakur isn't just difficult to hit, he operates in that uncomfortable space where opponents feel close enough to take risks, yet far enough to embarrass themselves. I found myself agreeing instantly, because that's the Mayweather influence he's describing, not flair or showmanship, but quiet frustration piling up one round at a time.
No, well, Shakur has the ability to diffuse you, so I think he has the Mayweather effect where he can diffuse you. It's just on if he's going to take the more risk, to stamp his victory, you know what I mean? He's gonna let his hands go in the times that he could using his speed, so that's just what I think it is with that. I think he know how to nullify what you're doing.
When Bernie mentions that Teofimo hasn't looked overwhelming in his recent performances, it sounds less like criticism and more like a caution. You can't afford to drift mentally against someone who turns slow moments into total control. He pointed out that Teofimo has been getting tagged, taking damage, and losing sharpness, and against Shakur Stevenson, those details matter. Shakur isn't in a hurry to be great, he methodically collects it. I also liked how Bernie framed it as Shakur's opportunity to define himself, not Teofimo's, because that kind of responsibility is pressure hiding in plain sight.
Sometimes he leads in some fights, he's not as capitalized as much as you think he could, so I think that's gonna be it, if you make him miss, make him pay 2 or 3, not just one counter punch, So I think that's the thing about it, and I'm sure that he will. I'm sure that he will. Of course, he's going to be a little cautious at first, but Teo ain't knocking nobody out neither.
You're not just competing with the opponent in front of you, you're up against expectations, promotion, star power, and your own ability to stay patient. Bernie pointed out that Teofimo had a clear path after the Lomachenko win and allowed it to slip, and that stuck with me because boxing doesn't pause while anyone figures things out. Then he cut straight to the uncomfortable question: if you can't consistently land on Shakur, how do you actually hurt him? Suddenly, all the talk about power starts to sound abstract. I laughed when Bernie challenged the almost mythical version of Teofimo's power, because reputations are built on highlights, not recent results, and lately, the damage hasn't matched the legend. When he compared Shakur to Mayweather in terms of neutralizing opponents, it wasn't flattery, it was a diagnosis. You can throw all night, but when nothing lands clean, belief drains away. And when Bernie said this fight determines whether Shakur steps into true superstardom, that weight felt real, because simply winning clean isn't enough anymore. It has to feel undeniable. What we're really watching is whether control finally gets rewarded, or if chaos grabs the spotlight once again.
I'm just, so the kid, he in a good position, and if he is able to win against Teofimo Lopez, he will be a lineal champion in 2 weights. And okay, Teo, he's done that. So if he beats Teo, he equals that accomplishment, and he beats him. So I would definitely say he's the best boxer. He's the best one.
After Bernie paints Shakur as a slow-building frustration engine, Jose Benavidez Sr. steps in with the tone of someone who's watched too many gifted fighters get undone by their own tendencies. That's where the conversation subtly turns. Jose openly acknowledged that Shakur is exceptionally talented, maybe even too careful. I couldn't help but laugh, because that's the nicest way to say, he's going to win, but you might want a cup of coffee. When Jose mentions Shakur's low-risk approach, it sounds less like criticism and more like a challenge, as if he's saying, there's another gear in there. And when he references that one fight where Shakur stayed inside and made everyone do a double take, it highlights the shadow hanging over this matchup. We've seen that version before, which makes every measured performance feel like something is being held back. Jose isn't taking shots, he's breaking it down. His point is simple: Shakur chooses control over spectacle by design. And it's hard to fault someone for safeguarding their future, even if the crowd is always asking for fireworks on demand.
Shakur Stevenson's fucking insane. You know, he's good. He knows how to win fights. He doesn't risk as much, and I think he should because he's really good at it. But he just sometimes makes fights so boring. The only one that I like is the one that he fought. And look, it's spectacular. Yeah, inside. He stayed inside. He showed. I was like, what the fuck? You know? And all the other fights, I would just fall asleep, bro. You know?
Jose then shifts the spotlight to Teofimo Lopez, and that's where the discussion turns personal. He describes Teofimo as a showman, not in a dismissive sense, but as someone who does things you can't really coach. That rang true, because Teofimo's talent has always announced itself loudly. But Jose also slipped in a subtle caution. Boxing has a way of punishing divided attention. Teofimo has dealt with a lot, and that observation didn't feel like gossip, it sounded like lived experience. When Jose says a locked-in Teofimo is dangerous, it isn't promotion, it's a condition. A focused Teofimo is a real threat. An unfocused one is uncertainty wrapped in gloves. I appreciated that Jose wouldn't lean one way or the other, calling it a true 50-50. That tells you this matchup isn't about resumes or skills on paper, it's about who arrives fully present. This isn't just a clash of styles, it's discipline grappling with temptation. And history shows which side boxing usually favors when the lights are brightest.
And they have so much talent and they just lose a little bit of focus, and boxing will make you pay for that, you know? So I'm just hoping that he's 100% back and focused. And man, when he's focused, that guy is dangerous, you know? So if he's focused, we're having a great fight. We're having a good fight. And you can't blink because both of these guys have power. So, or they can hurt each other, you know?
When you layer all of this together, Shakur building a camp designed to make chaos feel ordinary, Porter explaining how resets and spacing drain danger, Bernie identifying that uncomfortable range where confidence falls apart, and Jose reminding everyone that discipline and focus are what shape careers, the real picture comes into focus. This fight isn't about who's louder or more entertaining. It's about who can survive staying true to themselves. Teofimo feeds off emotion, bursts, and moments. Shakur operates on time, denial, and quiet control. One fighter needs the pace to accelerate, the other needs it to slow to a crawl. That's why each round feels like an examination rather than a highlight hunt. One sudden disruption can change the narrative, but sustained order can rewrite it entirely. This isn't good versus bad or dull versus thrilling, it's one philosophy colliding with another, gloves on. And by the time the bell keeps ringing, someone's version of truth is going to be laid bare.
And I'm just so happy that this fight got made, and I'm looking forward to see this fight.
Absolutely, man. It's nice to see these guys, the best fight the best. Who do you favor in the fight?
Like I said, you know, both of them are so good, and like I said, whoever shows up that night is the one that's going to be more focused and take that.
Now it's your turn. Sound off in the comments and really dig into it. No dodging the conversation. And if you're rocking with the breakdowns, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Boxing Stories so you don't miss what's next.